Hi everyone, Maria here. I get a lot of questions regarding the supplies I use in my painting process, and I am excited to finally share some of my favorite. Before we start, I want to quickly mention something about the pigments. You might already know this, but it is worth mentioning. There are two preferred pigment grades, artist and student grade. Artists are considered to be of higher quality, while student grade are typically more affordable. Both can produce long-lasting results. The main difference lies in their pigment concentration. I use both grades and I'm pretty happy with how things turn out. Alright, let's get started. I love watercolor pencils. I prefer to buy only the colors that I need. You can purchase them in sets, the price can be cheaper per pencil, but that is the case only if you would be using every pencil in the box. You might have noticed, if you have researched face-ups, why water-based media are preferred. They are safe to use on plastic and won't cause damage. Additionally, water-based sealants are recommended with these, and they work well together to protect the artwork without harming the underlying materials. I have multiple watercolor paints in tubes and also a set of pens. They are very fun to use because they are transparent and blend very well, allowing me to create different shades of color or paint delicate translucent layers. I have only one box of pens because I find it more comfortable using them from tubes. In tubes they are more pricey, but you also get more, and I really love the consistency. I find them much easier and faster to use them from tubes than having to wait for the pens to absorb the water. I have been using water-based gouache for a long time and I really enjoy it. And again, I buy only the colors that I need for certain details. It is a type of paint that is similar to watercolor, but it dries to a flat opaque finish. I have been using them for things like painting the eyeliner, sometimes even eyelashes, and for many other things. Just like watercolor, they can be reactivated by adding water, so I would not recommend sealing them with a brush because it will be messy. I am probably using acrylic paints the most. They are just so versatile and I love to use them with various techniques, including airbrushing, and they are available in so many colors. I I have them only in bottles, and some are also designed for airbrushing. What I mean by this is that they have high flow and that makes airbrushing easier. In my kit, I also have many that are designed for miniatures, which means that they can keep high levels of detail. Each type of paint has its own fun characteristics and applications, and it's great to experiment with different media. Soft pastels are great for building color. Just keep in mind that achieving more vibrant shades requires many layers. As always, I only buy the colors I need. It is more affordable this way because a good set of pastels can be very expensive, especially if I don't use all of the colors in it. They are excellent for creating natural face tones. Their transparency is perfect for that purpose. And if you don't have or like to use an airbrush, they are a great alternative. I use a lot of very soft pastels and I find them easier to work with, but the downside is that they can be very messy. And I have to be very careful because they can also crumple easily. If I accidentally drop one, even from a low distance, it will break instantly. I do own a box that are not very soft, but I still use them. However, I have to apply them on paper first, otherwise it is difficult to pick a color from them directly. I use different brands of media. I don't just stick to one. Honestly, I choose them based on their color, and if they're new to me, I research before I buy. When working with art media, I also have a few favorite things that I find very helpful, and one of them is fluid medium. I use Flow 8 to dilute my acrylic paints when I use them with brushes. It involves mixing water with the 8, and I use distilled water for that. It is a concentrate, so one bottle goes a long way. I find it very helpful because it can make acrylic paints flow without losing their quality. And to dilute my watercolor paints, I use only distilled water. I never felt like I needed to add anything else to them. Another one of my favorite things is mixing balls for paint. They have been a big help to me. Highly pigmented acrylic paints can settle to the bottom of the bottles, and it can take some time to mix them properly. Sometimes a color that has been standing for a while can be so stuck to the bottom that it can be very difficult to mix. I find them so helpful, and I can be sure that the paint is fully mixed before I use it. I just open a bottle, and depending on the color, I add one or at most two of them. One thing I want to mention is to make sure that they are of good quality so they won't compromise your paint. If you still want to test them, you can soak a couple in salted water for a day or two. It is very important to me to clean my brushes after use, as water alone isn't sufficient. Pigments can still remain, potentially seeping into fresh colors. This also applies when using brushes with pastels. Simply dusting them off won't remove the pigments. That is why I use brush soap to clean them. It not only prevents the possibility of getting dirty colors, but also extends the life of your brushes. I have a few favorite ones that I prefer not to replace so often because it can become expensive. One of my most favorite things are painting and makeup brushes. I have many because I enjoy having a variety of them. If I can give you one advice from my experience, is that you will mainly need small sizes for face-ups. Unless of course you're working on a large-scale project. In that case, you can go with bigger ones. I use a lot liner brushes, and in different sizes because they make painting easier for me. Additionally, I use various other brushes, including different sizes labeled for working with miniatures. These are very small and made for painting fine details. Makeup brushes are fantastic for applying soft pastels. I have various sizes again for different tasks such as blushing or tracing eyebrows. They are excellent because they are soft, making it easier to apply the pastels evenly without leaving them looking like a stain. And it makes it so easy for me that makeup brushes can pick the finest powder out of soft pastels. They are amazing for being able to create translucent layers and achieve natural looking face tones. I use porcelain palettes to mix my paints. I only have a few, but they are more than enough. To me, their downside is that they can be pricey, and if you drop them, they can break. They are very easy to wash and allow me to see the true colors because they stay clean, unlike plastic ones. To me, this is important for watercolor paints, where stained palettes can be problematic due to the paint's transparency. I used to use only plastic palettes, but now I avoid them when I use watercolors because they get stained easily. If you leave acrylic paints to dry on them, they are very difficult, almost impossible to wash off. However, this isn't a significant problem because unlike watercolor, acrylic paints won't reactivate. I also use the porcelain palettes for various other things. For example, when applying eyelashes, I use them to hold the glue and the pre-cut lashes. I even use them for things like crystals, pearls, glitter, and many other things. To prime and seal my work, I use an airbrush. I prefer it over canned sealants because I can adjust the air pressure myself. I also use it to airbrush colors. It is amazing because I can mix the exact colors I need and apply them. I have two of them. When I work on a project, I use one for sealing and the other for applying colors. It just often happens that I spray color and then seal it when it's dry. I love that the sealed layers can be very fine and even, so I don't lose detail. The same goes to color as well. A drastic color change may take a few layers, but each is very thin. Also, I can dilute the color and create delicate transparent layer. An airbrush is not necessary. Of course, using spray cans is a great alternative. They just have to be labeled safe for the surface you're working on. Thank you for watching, everyone. I appreciate you so much. If you have questions or if you want to share your favorites, you can leave them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed watching, please leave a like and share it. You make a big difference. And if you're new here, welcome. I do hope to see you next time again. Until then, take care. Bye!